Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favourite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. Who told you that you shouldn't rest? Who let you think or believe that resting, taking you time, or actually getting enough sleep even was a negative thing? Like, really sit with that for a second. If you've been with me a while, you know so much of our behaviour is driven by things that were never our thoughts or beliefs in the first place. They were never ours to take on. But we do, because we're human. And we often take them on before we had the brain development to even question whether it's true for us, or if there might be another truth available to us. Hustle culture has a huge amount to answer for in this respect. It demonises rest. What? It gives you the message that if you're not hustling, ergo if you're resting, or not go all the time, then you're not trying hard enough. Then you're lazy. Then you're not made out for success. That you aren't now, nor will you ever have success or be successful in the future. Their messaging is rife. It's toxic. And in all honesty, it's dangerous. And something that is now the polar opposite to how I live and plan my life. Thankfully, that definitely wasn't always the case. I bought into this lie most of my life too, particularly in corporate. If your boss thinks you're not busy, if you don't have just that little bit too much on your plate to be able to say, oh, I'm really busy, then obviously you aren't cut out for the job, right? Obviously you aren't up to the task at hand. Certainly not that you're just super efficient or anything like that. No, heaven forbid. You know, I'm no stranger to hard work. It has been drummed into me since I was a child too. I saw my dad working all the hours at his job. So you learn when you model that and you watch that success or making a decent living can only come from working your butt to the bone. Late nights, bringing your work home, never-ending to-do lists, and you don't question it. My driving force, and if you don't know what this is for yourself yet, I really highly suggest that you look into it. But my driving force is peace, ease, and flexibility. That doesn't mean I'll win at that every single time. It doesn't mean that I'm 100% winning that battle all the time. It doesn't mean that there aren't times when a little hustling is required in life, right? But what it does mean is what I value above all else is that peace, ease, and flexibility. I love money. Don't get me wrong. I'm so in love with money, right? Just never, ever to the detriment to my peace, ease and flexibility in life. Never. I've made that mistake many times in the past, you know. It also means that knowing that this is my driving force, it shapes the decisions that I make, the things that I say yes or no to. It means that I'm clear on what fits in with those values and drivers and what doesn't. And if I compromise on them too much, I know I'll get myself in a pickle and will be annoyed that I didn't listen to my spidey senses. Right? I still occasionally get this wrong. When sometimes the things you're saying no to be able to say yes to peace, ease and flexibility, when they're oh so shiny, you know, but I definitely learn valuable lessons if that does happen, right? It also means that I know when in my diary, I'm going to need to put in a little extra rest time or block out my diary from peopling to recharge the batteries. It really helps me shape the life that I want to be living. You know, I always block out my diary from Christmas Eve through the whole festive season and the first 2 weeks of January. That's a given. I did that this year as well. And it's just dreamy. But this year I actually realised, or last year I should say now, I actually want the week in the lead up to Christmas off. So I've already blocked that out in my diary too for this year. I know after a year of supporting other people, showing up for other people, this is my support to myself. Proper time out. You know, a proper brain break. And what better time than when other people are doing the same thing? Easy win. Plus, you miss all the January BS, right? There are times when I know I'm launching too, so I need to do a little bit more hustling than I usually would. The odd evening or weekend. So I'll block time off after that too. Or if I'm going to in-person events, I know I need a little recharge time. Where are my fellow extroverted introverts at? Like, I can be the life and soul of the party, but I need a little recovery time afterwards. You know, and then 3 times per week, I'm in the gym or pool in the mornings. And then I work from the manor house that's attached to it in the bar there with the velvet sofas. And it's super luxurious and quiet. And I love it. And I get way more done in that time than I would at home. Because that's my way of rest, of giving my brain a rest, of looking after my body, right? And if you've been following my Instagram, you'll know I have not been well for the last couple of weeks. And it has taught me some really valuable lessons. And typically, it was slap bang in my launch for the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community. I caught COVID. It turned into labyrinthitis, which is no fun at all. It's an inner ear infection that is a cross between vertigo and tinnitus. Basically, it feels like your brain is made of cotton wool and like you've been out clubbing all night, boozing too hard and standing too close to the speakers. It's annoying. But the only way to get over it is to surrender to it. I used to get it in my corporate days. I haven't had it for about a decade, but my goodness. You have to nap when your body is telling you to and take advantage of any little bursts of energy that you get, but know a crash is probably going to come right after. You don't really feel like yourself a whole bunch. And it would be so easy to be frustrated when you have all these plans in place and you can't do the things in the way that you wanted to. And I've definitely had moments of that because I'm a human, right? And it's disappointing to put all that hard work into something and not be able to put everything into it that you thought you would. You know, your feelings are always valid no matter what goes on, but you can course correct from that place of acceptance, surrender, and awareness. I could have stayed in the frustration that this thing I'd worked on for months to launch something I was so proud of, and I could have tried to push through it, but it only would have made me worse. You know, I talked about this in my email to my list last week. Every Wednesday I send an email around with some musings. So I thought I'd dig into it a little bit deeper today because it's actually really important to talk about our unconscious programming around rest, our relationship to rest, because I see it get people into a far worse situation than they would have been had they just learned and leaned into the desire for rest. We have to watch out what we make rest mean. A few examples I hear that trip people up is often around the belief that self-care is selfish. You know, to put yourself first is selfish. Rubbish. But also another phrase is, you know, no rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. The idea that you have to carry on even when you're tired and even when you're exhausted. So toxic. And another is the suggestion that if you have time, in inverted comma, to rest, then it means you're not successful. Because busyness is obviously unconsciously directly related to success in your mind or the mind of others. You know, I had to unlearn all this stuff too, but it's rife both in the corporate world and the online business world that, you know, perception is everything. Therefore, you must be busy and show that you're busy in order for others to perceive you to be successful. And it is honestly such utter rubbish. Sometimes I really want to get sweary on the podcast, but I never want to because I don't want to have to tap the explicit button. And I know a lot of parents listen in with kiddies, so I always try. But know that when I say rubbish, I want to say something else. It drives me mental. People come to me desperate to get out of the perpetual stress and burnout pattern and learn how to actually feel safe taking rest. How ridiculous is that? To learn to feel safe to look after themselves in their own body. And I had to relearn how to listen to my body too. If your body is telling you you need rest, you should probably listen. And if it's telling you that all the time, I would absolutely go have a chat to your GP or naturopath or whatever and make sure that there's nothing else going on there. But when you don't listen and you ignore the need to rest, you're just going to head for burnout. Your body will eventually force you to listen. And it will be far worse than had you just adapted in the first place, course corrected, behavioral flexibility. That's why I'm always talking about behavioral flexibility. Life's going to happen, right? We need to be able to course correct in the moment from a place of awareness and consciousness. So next time you find yourself in a position where you feel like you really need a rest or a break, just ask yourself, like, what happens if you actually give yourself that? Like, what is the worst thing that could happen if you actually allow that? I basically slept my way through my launch and I still hit my goals. I've also realized that being ill, how much time I actually need to spend on my business every week versus the story that I might be telling myself. Sure, if you did the bare minimum every week from now till kingdom come, you'd probably struggle to grow and perhaps hit your goals. But you can do it occasionally. And I bet your actual minimum need to do in your business is way less than the story you're telling yourself. So take some time to really notice your relationship to the hustle. What are you making it mean if you do or don't hustle, or do or don't take time off for rest? Yeah. Are you making a direct correlation between your busyness and lack of rest and how successful you feel or you think others perceive you to be? Call yourself out on the BS, my love. Time to get honest with yourself. And as an act of self-love, as it's Valentine's week, go have a glorious power nap if you need one. Might actually go have one myself. Enjoy. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I'm here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful and I'll see you next week. Bye.